ready to move on? Next up, Biden impeachment.
I mean, is it
this
really
a
an
joke?
impeachment?
No,
It's a
I
joke,
mean,
man. It's
Yeah, I mean, they're opening. So what they're actually, it's not an impeachment. They're opening an impeachment inquiry. So they're going to start an investigation to see if there's something there to impeach over, and obviously there's not.
they're also trying to open an impeachment inquiry without having a vote to open for it.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was the parliamentary real rules. But
Yeah.
the only thing I had seen anywhere that in any way could be any semblance of impropriety was the stuff with, what was the company that Hunter Biden was attached with? The Ukrainian company?
The Ukrainian energy company.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Burisma? I think that was
remember.
Burisma, something like that. I don't know. I wasn't prepared for this part of it. But that was what I had heard. That was the only possible. That's the only thing that links Joe Biden, to any form of like what could remotely be considered illegal dealings, because the stuff with Hunter Biden and the connections that he had made, and I should have prepared for this before I even opened my mouth because I'm not 100% well versed on it, is I believe there is some illegality that happened there with, like, if at the very least a conflict of interest with Joseph Biden connecting, making those connections, Hunter Biden using political connections to get involved with the Ukrainian energy company and make millions, tens of millions of dollars.
From what I understand, his dad, Mr. Biden, Joe Biden, never actually set him up.
Yeah.
He used his influence as the son of the vice president to get into the company, basically saying, "Oh, I have, I'm the son of this guy, and I can get you connections," but I don't think Joe Biden actually had anything to do that with himself. That's from my understanding. But also, if you really think about it, by the time any of this gets done, Joe's gonna be dead. It's gonna take like 4 years just to get there, man. And then like you're really like pushing it. You're grabbing on anything and like little loose strings just to have a nub. You know.
My students are doing, not to talk about my students too much, but my students are doing a project now. It's kind of their final project before this little break ends, where they have to kind of evaluate modern leaders, I guess, for lack of a better term, and compare them to leaders of history that we've talked about, like the Protestant Reformation, the Enlightenment, the French Revolution, stuff like that. And one of them is choosing Biden, and they have to kind of write a recommendation or a proposal as to like what he could do. And this student, I was like, well, what is your angle? Like, what are you writing? And he's like, I'm begging him not to run again. And I was like, high five, little dude. High five. Me too, brother. Me too. And he's just like, he's so old. This is a ninth grade. It's a 14-year-old being like, he's just so old. And like these kids are aware that like this dude's gonna die in office.
Yeah, like no, this guy is. I mean,
listen,
not 100% chance, but he could even die before the end of this term.
Yeah,
like he's so
and
old.
Harris does not have the juice to take on Trump.
Absolutely not.
So that's just guaranteeing a victory to Trump if Biden were to die before, because the election's still what? It's over a year away. It's a year and 2 months away.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if Biden dies, I don't think it's going to be Kamala Harris. I think they're
you think they'd restructure the ticket?
As stupid as the Democratic Party is, and as many mistakes as they made, I think they understand that Kamala Harris is not adept to doing arguments, debating. That she's not very politically well motivated. She doesn't understand how it works, right? She was just a PR stunt to have a woman as a vice president, and that as a black woman as well. You know, it's all it is.
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I remember during Obama's presidency, maybe it was because it was 2 terms that it's kind of clouding my memory, but I remember just seeing and hearing, and just Biden was more around, right? I don't know the last time I saw Harris in the news. I mean, she said that one thing about migrants, she said, don't come. That was like a year ago, maybe. Yeah. Is she just AWOL.
That's the point. That's the point. I mean, in most general senses, that's what vice presidents are. They did that same thing.
Yeah, but
I
remember seeing Biden a lot. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't know. Maybe that's me repainting my memory based on.
But Biden was also back then like recognized as the average Joe. He's your average Joe. You know, but Kamala Harris is just like, there's too much crap on her, man. She was in California. And she did some stupid crap, Kamala Cop Harris. Yeah. She just has a bad reputation to her, and they're just basically just trying to keep her in the shadows as much as possible. Yep. I don't honestly. Maybe if he gets reelected, she might not even be the vice president again. They might even switch her around. But if anything happens,
Maybe.
it's probably going to be Newsom or
Yeah.
Pete Buttigieg.
I hate Pete Buttigieg.
We all hate Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah, damn,
But listen,
I hate
I'd
that
rather have Pete than Kamala Harris.
I don't know. I mean, it's all the same to me.
It is.
I don't see a difference between them.
There's none.
I don't know. I was going to say, I don't know which one has more juice to kind of the legs to run a presidential campaign. I guess probably Pete Buttigieg, but I don't know.
But
I'd have to
against
look into
Trump,
that.
man, Trump would pick him apart like it's a piece
Can
of
you
rotisserie
imagine?
chicken.
Trump is like what 6'4" or something, and
He's
like,
6'2". He lied about his height.
Oh, did he lie?
Yeah.
Well, he's still 6'2". Pete Buttigieg is.
Yes, his weight is 222.
Can you imagine a debate between Pete Buttigieg, who I just imagine is a very small guy, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't actually know how small Pete Buttigieg is. I just imagine he's 5'5" and like 140 pounds, but
Little Pete.
just on a debate stage against Trump, who is like 6'2", 200 pounds. Like that's just gonna
Oh
be
my
such a
God.
funny
I
optic.
can always see his Little Pete.
Not that matters like really, but it
No,
matters. Like the
no.
optics matter to the American
yeah.
people.
Oh yeah, we're talking about American politics, where just like half of it's not even policy. It's not.
just optics.
It's
and
just
stuff.
optics. That's all it is. And Pete Buttigieg is.
Yeah, he's 5'8". So I mean,
He's a little short.
that's not terribly short. I mean, I don't want to all my short kings out there. You know,
just like what
much
Trump
love,
and he does.
but
He
yeah.
will make it more like exaggerated than it is, because
yeah,
he
'cause
wrote
that's
that
what he
he's
does.
6'4", 220 pounds. My dude is 300 pounds and 6'2",
Yeah.
or 6'1".
Yeah,
That's what he does.
it is what he does. Well, we're at a little over 30 minutes, so we have one more story. The House, the budget shutdown. We can save it, or we can just quickly wrap it up. Your
Let's
call.
quickly wrap it up.
All right, let's
That's
go.
okay.
Let's head back to here. Yeah, there's one more story, which is the government shutdown is looming. It looks like it might happen. They have until the 30th to reach a deal. The weird part about this story is that the Republicans voted down their own budget bill, which sounds very. Oh, we forgot to talk about Boebert. Damn.
Oh,
We had this whole thing about Lauren Boebert. We just missed it. I don't know. We rambled for a long time about a whole bunch of stuff. But sorry, back to this. Government shutdown. The Republicans shot down their own bill. Very apropos if you know the Republicans. It was the kind of the far right MAGA Republicans voted this down in conjunction with most Democrats to block this budget bill from going through. Which is usually a slam dunk for Republicans. The budget bill, or excuse me, the military budget is wrapped up in this. One of the reasons Democrats kind of had an issue with it is it defunds a lot of diversity programs within the military, within the Pentagon. So that was kind of more of a symbolic thing for them, and just something that some of them actually agree with. The reason the far right Republicans voted it down is I believe it had a lot to do with just their general disdain for spending, as well as I think there was some Ukraine stuff tied up in that, as I understand it. But let me double check here.
Patriots.
Oh yeah, there was.
Yeah.
So there was that. Trump had said specifically he was calling for it not to be voted on or passed because it was I guess I don't know how exactly, but he considered this money to be being used in the prosecutions against him. So if you defund this, you defund the political prosecutions against him and other patriots. Quote, this is also the last chance to defund these political prosecutions against me and other patriots.
They failed
quote,
on the debt limit, but they must not fail now. Use the power of the purse and defend the country, the former president wrote.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think this is just a bunch of mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, I mean, but the problem with these is that the government shutdowns generally do hurt people. This is we're talking VAs, we're talking like different kind of Social Security, 401 or not 401k, but Social Security, different types of pensions, Medicare, Medicaid. I mean, it's all wrapped up in the federal benefits in the federal government. So when these furloughs happen in the federal government, I have a friend who's a Fed. He works for Department of Treasury. He's an investigator, like a kind of like an accountant, I guess, like a forensic accountant. He gets people's back pay based on shady business practices. He goes and investigates, and he forces businesses to pay back pay or pay back wages when they kind of stiff their employees, which is a pretty cool job he has. And he got furloughed for like whenever that was during Obama's, like I think it was like 2014 maybe the last time that happened, for like there was a serious one, the government shut down for a while. Like
there was a while back.
I think he was working then and he got furloughed for like the 100 days or whatever. He was just on vacation basically.
You know what? This is a really bad move by the Republican Party, because this is going to look bad right before all these debates going on and right before the election. You have pro-ish Democrat strikes going on, which is like, okay, they got unions and stuff, and then you're going to reverse this around and on top of that, add a government shutdown where people are not going to get their Medicaid. And mind you, a lot of people on Medicaid and a lot of people on like Social Security are people in red states.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
For sure.
Arkansas and Missouri, where they're not doing well. And when they're not going to get this money, they're going to second guess who to vote for or vote for anybody at all. So I don't know if this is the best idea for the Republicans.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's a very smart play. I think definitely if this is not resolved, by next Wednesday, I think that's definitely going to be has to be a question at the Republican primary, right? Like, you know, what would you do differently, or I don't know what the moderator I don't know who's hosting. I know it's at the Reagan Presidential Library, I believe, in Southern California, and I don't know who's hosting. Probably Fox News, but I'll have to double check
Tucker
that.
Carlson.
Yeah, well, that was the last debate. Trump did an exclusive interview with Carlson on Twitter.
Skipping.
Yeah, when he was skipping it, but
Elon Musk will, not Elon Musk, but Tucker Carlson will do anything just to keep relevant, man.
I really wanted to talk about Boebert because, man, that is
We can talk about
fascinating
Boebert.
story. Do we have time? I mean, how long do you want this to go?
I don't know. It
We're
doesn't
at
matter for me.
36 minutes.
Doesn't matter for me as long as these are under an hour.
All right, let's quickly go to Boebert. I don't have the article pulled up, which is fine because it's just kind of a recap over the last week of just nonsense that's happened. So, to recap, if anyone is unfamiliar, if you've been living under a rock for the last week, Lauren Boebert in Colorado went to go see Beetlejuice the musical.
Yeah.
And while she was there, she was, by multiple accounts, vaping with a pregnant woman behind her, like kind of vaping in this pregnant woman's face. The pregnant woman had asked her to stop. She was singing along, yelling, kind of like pretending that it's kind of like a Rocky Horror Picture Show when it was just like a stage production. You don't sing along in a musical. That's really bad form. I actually asked some of my theater major friends, and that's not something you do.
Show.
It's not Rocky Horror. You don't sing along. You enjoy it and you stay quiet.
She
was vaping. She was singing along. She was taking flash photography. She had her cell phone out and she was like taking photos with the flash on.
Yeah.
In this dark theater, and the creme de la creme, she was giving the old HJ to her friend, her boyfriend, who I found out is
Just
actually.
a date. And not a boyfriend.
Well, so that's what she said.
Yeah.
There is a lot of reports from the drag queen who performs at his bar, because the story gets weird, gets all over the place, that they've been dating for months, and Lauren Boebert was just playing it down that it was their first date.
And Lauren Boebert is not divorced yet.
Not, but
her paper, the
I care less about that. But what I do care about,
it looks bad for Republicans.
Sure, the Party of Family Values. The Party of Family
Exactly.
Values has they're one of their darling congresswomen given a hand job through the genes, we should say, in a child-friendly, a family-friendly musical while she's vaping.
At a pregnant woman.
While she's just being loud and obnoxious, while he is groping her, like really going to town, fondling her boobs, while she's going to town on him. And then to top it all off, he's a Democrat.
And he owns a gay bar.
Well, he doesn't own a gay bar. He owns a craft cocktail bar in Colorado. But they do host drag shows.
Okay.
So the story is just so bizarre. So you have this like huge anti-trans, anti-LGBT, anyone who's remotely queer at all is a groomer and needs to be put to the death. Lauren Boebert is dating a Democrat who owns a cocktail bar that hosts drag shows, and it's actually a drag queen that that performs at that bar. That was a lot of this reporting comes from, because she's just like, I don't know the pronouns. That drag queen was just like, they didn't just meet, they're whatever. And so a really interesting take on this is also just kind of like more hypocrisy and more performative kind of theater from politicians, because the one thing that Lauren Boebert and this guy have in common is that they're both like bar and grill owners in Colorado. They're both like pretty well off, so it's more of a class than anything else, which I thought was a very interesting take, because like they don't give a shit about politics at a certain level, because it's just about class, because they're both kind of upper class people.
But what does this really tell you? It just half the people to a majority of the Republicans don't believe what they say.
Yeah.
These people are literally just paid frauds.
What do I have written down here?
They're hypocrites, yes, and fucking grifters. They're
Hypocrite
frauds.
and disingenuous grifter in my
money,
notes.
baby.
Yeah.
You think she believes any of the crap that she spews?
So
Probably
just a
not.
little like follow up to this is like when pressed about this, she lied through her teeth, said no, she wasn't vaping, and then all of the footage came out, and she's like, okay, well, she pulled well, I don't remember vaping, so which is like what, and then she blamed it all on her divorce. She's like, well, this divorce I've been going through has been very hard on me, and it's caused her to lose her mind for whatever reason. So that was kind of one of her her fallbacks was that her divorce has been hard on her, so that was the reason for her behavior. And let's not forget that her divorce, the man she was married to,
Yes.
exposed his penis to young women at a bowling alley and was charged with public indecency and lewd exposure. So just once more, the party of family values, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. And if I remember correctly, she was quite young when she met him. Right?
Yeah, I believe so, because that was in, I should have had the year here, because I want to say she's 40 or 38.
She's in her late 30s.
Yeah, and they were married for, I think, like a long time, because this happened in like 2000.
I think it's like 15 years or something
yeah,
like that.
so I don't know. That's, again,
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but just everything that comes out of their mouth, everything, other actions or words, just hypocritical grifters. So there you go.
It's not real.
The Ballad of Lauren Boebert. What a fascinating tale. I'm excited for more stuff to come out. It just keeps getting weirder and weirder, the story.
It's fun. It's great. It's content, man. It's like when people are like, oh, why don't you watch any fucking TV shows? I'm like, bro, I got politics.
Yeah.
Every week there's some crazy crap that goes on, and this shit's real, man. Like,
yeah, I read some Stephen King, I read some political theory, and then I watch the news, and man, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
One other quick addition to this is that two things I've seen come out of this story about Boebert is, one, that of course, like Lauren Boebert would, she like threw a hissy fit and was just kind of, do you know who I am? I'm going to talk to the mayor of the town she was in Colorado.
She turned into a Karen.
She turned into a Karen as she was being escorted out and asked to leave. So that must have been real embarrassing for her. Second thing is, I saw the most brain dead take ever on another reporting, some other reporting, and I'll try to find this. Maybe I won't. Who cares? The source, because it was the whole take was this, and I had never heard of this publication before. I thought it might have been like a right wing news publication, but I'd never heard of them, so I didn't bother looking further into it. But the whole point of their article, their piece that they wrote, was the insensitivity that invaded her privacy by recording her. That like, we shouldn't be recording these people. We shouldn't be recording Lauren Boebert because it was an invasion of her privacy. And I was just like, my brother in Christ. First of all, it's a theater. They have like internal security. That was like a night vision security camera, pretty crummy camera. So like that, I don't know, that was just the weirdest take I saw. And it was an entire like long article just devoted to like the ethics and morality of like recording somebody in, when they're just on a date or whatever. And I was just like, who are you trying to impress? Who are you defending here?
Wait till they hear about the Patriot Act.
Well, that was another take was like, or like if you step out, like for her to just claim that like she wasn't doing that, like why would you even lie at this point in 2023 when somebody says, hey, you were vaping in this theater and you were? Why lie? Do you think they made that up? Like, is that just so much of a coincidence? Like, it's 2023. They can just get
around. They think they can get like around it by just lying through their teeth.
That's
They're politicians.
And to be fair, nothing will come of this. There will be no repercussions or punishment for whatsoever, because like there is,
of course not.
Nothing matters, and none of this. We're all here for nothing. But like,
and most Republicans are just going to turn a blind eye, like it never happened,
So,
and they're just going to go along their way like she's like their Lord and Savior. This perfect, Christian woman with Christian family values, as if all of this did not just happen.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the story of Lauren Boebert. I just wanted to get that out there because I'm just in love with the story. I'm following it very closely.
Karen Boebert.
Yeah, Karen Boebert. So great. All right. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for us. We're gonna end with some socials. If you want to reach out to us for whatever reason, you want to email us, you want to converse with us. This is my email address. I will respond to emails. revolutionaryrhetoric@gmail.com, all spelled out. Follow us on Instagram @revolutionaryrhetoricpod. Twitter, RevRhetoricPod. Twitter's character count forced us to kind of change the format there a little bit.
Work. What you gonna do?
TikTok @Revolutionary Rhetoric, YouTube @Revolutionary Rhetoric Pod. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts: Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. If anybody
share with your cousins, your nieces, your friends.
In particular, your cousins.
Your cousins. We like cousins.
We all love our cousins here.
Cousins.
You got a big family?
Cousin lovers. No.
I'm from Louisiana, so you got to watch that language.
Yeah, okay.
I have enough accusations.
I have a lot of family, but a lot of them are not in the States as well. So
in Bosnia or
in Bosnia, they're a bit everywhere in Europe and East Coast and stuff like that. I don't really talk to my family, to be honest with you. They probably wouldn't like me anyways.
Mine I know mine doesn't. Well, most of my family's either in Arizona or in Louisiana, and they're pretty deep red. So anyway, that's all. We should talk about that another day. Anyway, folks, catch you in the next one.
All right, cue outro.